Good morning. Welcome to Your Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. Yeah, it's cold. I'm up here in Ohio, and man, I'll tell you what. Last week it was in the 90s, and now we actually had to turn the heat on in the house because it's down to 63 inside, and it's low 50s at night. So winter may come early for some of us. Hey, you may or may not have heard there was a giant leak in the Nord Stream gas pipeline from Russia to Europe, and they are going to figure out what happened. Some people say, well, it's just an accident. Other people are speculating that it was sabotage. So if it's an accident, it can be fixed, and Europe is still going to freeze because Russia is not going to supply them gas for all their help and everything else. So Angela Merkel sunk her people with this green climate change nonsense, and now people are saying, wait a minute, that's enough of this. And they could change their mind about the economic sanctions against Russia and say, hey, we're sorry, turn on the gas so we don't freeze to death this winter. Now, there are some that are speculating it was sabotage. So let's take a look at that and see what's going on. First off, we don't know, so this is just pure speculation and guessing on everyone's part until it is announced. So if Russia says it was sabotage, they could very likely blame the United States to start something. Why would the United States sabotage the gas pipeline? So that we could sell them ours to further enhance the economic sanctions that are not working against Russia, but that would be going against our allies in Europe, which are squishy at best. I don't know. If Russia sabotaged their own pipeline, Putin did that, he could say the United States did it because he's facing a rebellion amongst his own people. The Russians are saying, no, we're not going to war in Ukraine and be killed for you. And they are fleeing, fighting age men are fleeing the country by the thousands to avoid the draft and conscription. And people are protesting, and it was announced something like 3,000 protesters were arrested across the country protesting the escalation of the Ukrainian war. So if he sabotaged the pipeline and said the Americans did it, quite possibly help unify the Russian people against America and say, look, they're sabotaging this. This is an act of war. We have to retaliate. And you can't overthrow a dictator really while in the midst of war, if that's the thinking. If the United States did do it, and Joe Biden may or may not have known it, he's just a puppet anyway. But if the people that are pulling the strings say, yeah, we're going to sabotage that to get back at Putin for the Ukrainian war, we hate the Russians, we've always won it, and this would be the Democrats and the war machine, they could sabotage that and say, yeah, we got him back now. Because we've been supplying arms to Ukraine, we are running out of arms to sell. The people here in the United States are saying, no, we're sick of billions of dollars going over to Ukraine when we have problems here. So one of the alphabet agencies, with a wink and a nod of either the puppeteers or the puppet himself, say, okay, be discreet about it, sabotage the pipeline. And if Russia retaliates, we have the midterm elections, and again, a wag the dog scenario. You can't really impeach or vote out a president in the midst of a war. So that could escalate pretty quickly. If Russia determines that the United States did do it, they could say, It wasn't an attack on our homeland, but it was an attack on us. Let's turn out their lights, or let's shut down the financials in the United States and hit them in the pocketbook. Very real possibility. Could escalate very quickly. Fourth scenario, we had accident, okay. We have self-sabotage. Russia did it to themselves to quell the insurrection, that's 2. United States Alphabet Agency did it, that's 3, to pay back Russia and boost the economy and make Joe Biden look more powerful, so that's the 3rd. The 4th possibility is China did it. And why would China do it? To cause a conflict between the United States and Russia while they go into Taiwan, knowing full well the United States no longer has the capability to fight 2 major wars at the same time, because the Democrats have depleted the military so dramatically. So if Russia and the United States are going at it, free reign to China to do what they want, and knowing Australia and those countries over there have limited to no capability to stop them. A lot of possibilities. The only thing we can hope for is something happened, it was corrosion, whatever, and it can be easily fixed, no harm, no foul. We will only know when somebody announces it, and that should be very soon. I imagine the underwater traffic around that pipeline and on the surface is going to intensify very quickly, with everybody having their drone subs or submersibles taking a look at it and say, what was this? Taking samples, taking pictures, taking videos and everything else, and let's have a analyze meeting as to who, what, how, wherever. I would suspect if they say United States did it and is at fault and are pointing the fingers, I would get ready for some sort of economic retaliation. That would be my guess. I don't see missiles flying, bombs dropping, or anything else. I see lights out or some sort of economic retaliation, financial retaliation, the markets won't open or something else like that, some sort of hacking on the banking financial institutions. Very real possibility. If that's the case, make sure you have cash on hand, make sure you have food on hand, make sure your cars are topped off. Again, anything could happen at any point. We're at the flashpoint in history where anything goes. All right, thank you for liking and subscribing. Please continue to do so. Hit the notification bell, refer this channel. I really appreciate it. There's a lot going on, and I will talk further. Thank you. Get yourself right with God. Get baptized, submerged in water. Greg out.